All the technology found in this microphone has been found in microphones before. This is the first time all of these technologies have been found in one microphone. And because of that, it kind of makes this microphone a completely new category of microphone. It also makes it one of the most versatile microphones that you can buy right now. And the name of this microphone is the CVM VM30 by Comica. And I want to thank Comica for sponsoring this video. I initially saw a few people reviewing this microphone and I thought it looked really interesting. So when they offered to send this microphone out and sponsor a video, I said yes, no hesitation. But you will hear my completely unbiased opinion about this microphone, and Comica has no say in the making of the video. And the reason I think this is a class of new microphone is that I think we will see a number of microphones follow suit with the type of features that are put into this microphone. I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody like Rode or Deity or even Sennheiser follow suit with a very similar combination of features, because once you get your hands on this microphone, you see how uniquely versatile it really is. And when you first look at the microphone, it just looks like a typical shotgun microphone. It does have a gain control at the back, which is a nice feature. It means that when you do have it on top of your camera and see your audio levels are getting too high, you can actually adjust that down so you don't get clipping or distortion, or you can adjust it up if you need to boost your gain without stopping and starting the recording. So regardless of all the other features in the microphone, this is a core feature that I really like to have on my microphones. It does have a rechargeable battery, which is recharged by USB-C. With this gain knob, that allows you to send a stronger signal into your camera. So if you've got poor preamps in the camera, you're going to avoid that sort of hiss and background noise that you get with a lot of poor preamps in most modern cameras nowadays. One of the features it also has is a high pass filter, which has a cut at 75 or 150 hertz. That just allows you to cut off low frequency wind noise or rumbling noises. This is something that you can do in editing, but if you're somebody who likes to take the audio straight out of your camera, put it in the computer and publish it, by using this, you sort of can eliminate those low rumbling noises. Also, when you're sort of in traffic, you often get this. If you're using the microphone for voiceover, something you wouldn't typically do with other microphones, but because of the list of features on this, you actually can and probably should, I'd often click in that 75 hertz filter. It just takes away that kind of super bassy sound that you get when you get a microphone quite close to your mouth, and you get that intimate sound, but often you get what's called proximity effect, where you can get sort of a too strong a bass response and it's a bit overwhelming. So you might use it in that situation. It also has a high frequency boost, which allows you to boost the high frequencies if you do have the wind muff on and you're finding that you're losing a little bit of clarity in your audio signal. In addition to that, the microphone has an auto on-off function. So once you've got the battery charged up and you plug it into your camera, when you turn the camera on, the microphone comes on. When you turn the camera off, the microphone goes off. And in that configuration, you're going to get about 50 hours of battery life out of this microphone. And in the kit this comes with, you are going to get two different cords. One is going to allow this to plug this into a standard camera, DSLR, or mirrorless. And the other one is going to allow you to plug into a standard phone or headphone jack on your computer or tablet or something like that. So all of those bases are covered with cords that are included in the kit. A lot of the manufacturers right now are only sending sort of the one for one or the other. You're also going to get a shock mount, which has a very clever feature that I'm glad they included, which it tells you which way is the front to point the microphone. This is something that I have no end of problem when I get these microphones in the past. I've got no idea which orientation they're supposed to be in. They're obviously designed to work in one way or the other. And this one at least lets you know which way the microphone's supposed to be pointing. The other thing you're going to get with this microphone is a plosive filter, a little foam plosive filter that just goes over the microphone. You can use this in sort of very low wind conditions, or if you're doing some sort of voiceovers with it. And then you get the little furry dead cat, which you can use if you're in more windy conditions. So you have both of those options. Once again, nothing more to buy there. Those are just included in the kit. So far I've just talked about how you would use this as a typical on-camera microphone. Those are the functions, those are the features that make it work as an on-camera microphone. But there is two other ways that you can use this microphone that make it different than all the other microphones out there. And the first one is that it has USB functionality. That means that you can plug this microphone into a USB port in your computer or tablet and use it to record voiceovers. Now, on a recent trip across the United States, I was traveling. I brought this microphone as my main on-camera microphone. I shot a series of videos, and then when I got home, often I need to fill in some additional information. I didn't have to bring any additional microphone with me. All I had to do was plug in the USB-C port into the side of the microphone, into my computer in editing, and I just voiceovered real time the footage that I was watching. Now, typically I would have had to bring a completely separate microphone to fill that role. In this case, I was able to do double duty with this microphone. Rather than just talking about the microphone as a voiceover microphone, I thought I should also give you an audio sample, and this is how it would sound. I've also turned on that 75 hertz high pass filter just to clean up that heavy bass sound in my voice. And I will also say that I have found some best price links for this microphone and the other microphones I have later in the video that I'm comparing to this microphone. So if you're interested in the best prices that I know about of any of these microphones, I have put those links in the description down below. Now, both of those features that I've talked about have been found in microphones before. It is this third feature that is the killer feature, or the completely unique feature that this microphone offers that other microphones don't. And that is that it can also operate as a wireless microphone system. So included in the kit, you get a wireless receiver, and on the microphone itself, it has a little sort of wireless button. You turn both of these on, and what you'll find is when the microphone has sound coming into it, you'll get a little reading on your receiver, and now you have taken your microphone, you freed it from the top of your camera. You can put it anywhere. You can make it a plant mic, stick it in a hidden location. You can use it like a reporter mic like this, talking with it in frame. You can sort of hold it at a low angle just out of frame. You can boom it up overhead like I do in my YouTube videos. There's so many different functions that you have once you free this thing actually from the camera. And in addition to freeing it from the camera and creating this completely floating wireless microphone, if you put it back on the camera and you're running it as an on-camera mic, you can actually take this wireless receiver, put it on your second camera angle, plug that into your second camera, and your first camera and your second camera will have the exact same audio track. This actually saves you from syncing audio in editing, because both of them are going to be having the exact same audio track. Now, once you have it in the wireless configuration, they suggest that you're going to get around 8 hours of battery life compared to 50 hours in just the on-camera configuration, which I think is fine and is pretty much in line with other wireless microphone systems out there. And what you're going to find when you compare a wireless microphone setup like this to the typical wireless receiver and lapel or little clip-on transmitter unit that you put on your shirt, the advantage of this is you are generally going to get a better quality of sound. And that's because a microphone like this has a couple of features which make it sound better than those other microphones. And the first one is that it has a larger capsule in the microphone itself. And the larger capsule, generally speaking, is going to allow you to capture a higher quality sound, a larger frequency range, and more detail throughout those frequencies. The other thing that it's going to do is, because it is a shotgun microphone and it has what's called an interference tube, which is these slots along the side of this tube, those are designed to reject off-axis noises and sounds that we don't want. So we are primarily going to pick up the sound source that we are pointing the microphone at and reject those sounds around us. That's something that a typical lapel mic or a wireless transmitter mic will not do. That microphone will sort of pick up all around us, all the sounds in the environment. And the only advantage we have with our own voice is the fact that those microphones are closer to us, so the sound of our voice is going to be a little bit louder. The other thing that a microphone like this is going to do that a typical pinned-on lapel mic or a typical transmitter mic isn't going to do is, when you have those transmitters on your shirt, they are primarily picking up a lot of that bassy, chesty sound coming from your voice. Even those transmitters are going to sound better if you get them out and away from you. With a microphone like this, it is designed to be away from you. And you can even just hold it just out of frame, out of shot, or put it on a little sort of tabletop tripod out of shot. And if you get it close enough to you, the sound of that microphone, just because of the positioning, is going to sound vastly superior to a standard sort of lapel mic or a mic with a transmitter that you pinned on your shirt. Now, all these features and functions only matter if the microphone sounds good. And when it comes to the sound of microphones, overwhelmingly, these things are personal preference. And I generally give you the sound samples and I let you make up your own mind about which one sounds best. Because in the past, I found that I might prefer sort of one sound sound of one microphone. Then I publish the video, and I find out I'm the only one that likes the sound of that microphone, and everybody likes the sound of the other microphone. So here's a series of microphones that most of them at a very similar price point. Obviously, they don't have all the functionality of the Comica microphone because it is a first in class in this sort of set of features, but it will give you a comparison between other sort of similar priced microphones in the category to make sure that this microphone sounds good to you. Now you're listening to the Comica VM30, and this wasn't meant to be a handheld vlogging test, but I left my tripod at home, so this is what we're getting. Just listen to the sound of my voice, how clear and detailed is that, and compare it to the sounds around me. These shotgun microphones should do a pretty good job of eliminating those background sounds, but I have some very, very noisy birds around today. Now you listen to the Rode VideoMic NTG. This is how it sounds. This is widely considered one of the best sounding on-camera microphones you can get, so it should serve as a very good reference for the Comica mic. Listen to the sound of my voice, how clear and detailed is the sound of my voice compared to the sounds around me. Now we're listening to the Sennheiser MKE400. This is one of my all-time favorite on-camera microphones, primarily because of the size. It has an internal shock mount. It's actually built into the actual form factor itself, so you don't have sort of a big wobbly thing that can sort of break or you got to worry about in your camera bag. Because of that, you can actually stick this microphone in your pocket, which is a pretty cool feature. So this is one of my most used microphones, and for the size particularly, I think it sounds pretty good. Now the killer feature of this microphone is its wireless functionality. This gives me a few options. One, I can hand hold it like this in shot, so it's sort of a reporter style mic. The second one is, and this will decrease the signal a little bit, so I'll have to boost it in editing, but I could hold it out of shot like this, and if we crop the shot in, or if we were a bit more zoomed in, you wouldn't even see the microphone in the shot. The other thing is that we could boom it up overhead like this once again and get it out of shot. But this gives us all that wireless functionality, but we still have a microphone that works perfectly as an on-camera microphone as well. Right now you're listening to the DJI mic, and this is not a comparison I would typically do, but because this shotgun microphone is also a wireless microphone that you can take off the camera, it potentially makes it a good value replacing your wireless microphone like a DJI mic, as well as your on-camera microphone. So you kind of get a 2-for-1 package with it. And what you'll probably notice is the Comica mic is going to isolate the sound of my voice a fair bit better than the DJI mic, because the DJI mic just picks up sound in all direction, where the Comica mic is a directional microphone and it only picks up, or primarily picks up, the sound that you're pointing the microphone at. So this is the sound of the DJI mic, and just listen to how that sounds compared to the Comica mic. So when I listen to the sound of all those microphones, I don't think there is a bad microphone in the bunch. I think they all sound quite good. Nowadays, the technology and development have come so far, just like cameras. There's almost no bad cameras. There's really no bad microphones, and it really comes down to personal preference. Now, if you like the idea of a wireless microphone system, but you're just after one of those clip-on-the-shirt style transmitter and receiver units, I've just thrown a video on screen now. This is Comica's super inexpensive wireless transmitter and receiver system, and I compare it to the DJI mic, and a lot of people actually preferred the sound of the Comica over the DJI.